Hi, this video is going to show you how to use a campus-wide outcome to assess an assignment in Canvas if you've never created an assignment before or if you have an assignment that doesn't have a rubric associated with it. You'll need both in order to apply the campus-wide outcome to your assessment. So in your Canvas shell or course, you'll first go to Assignments. Then you'll create a new assignment by clicking this button. You can name it whatever you like. I'm going to name it Campus Outcomes Test. Then if you want to provide the content of the assignment in this box, you can. And that will depend a little bit on how you're planning to use it. If you're using the assignment for your students to see and refer to in order to complete a task, I would recommend filling out this area. If you're just using it for data collection for campus-wide outcomes, that might not be something you need to do. So that's a choice you can make. Then again, you can choose the number of points that you want the assignment to be worth. Again, this is important if you're using it for your students as part of their grade. If you're not, you could leave it at 0. Then you also can decide how you want the points graded. So if you're just using this for data collection, you might select not graded, and that's fine. Then when you are finished with the other areas, if you're choosing to use them, again, if you're using this for an actual assessment beyond just data collection on your campus-wide outcome, then you can fill in these other areas. For this example, I'm not going to. Then you want to say Save and Publish. You must publish this in order to associate it with a campus-wide outcome and data that can be collected. Once you've published it, you can add a rubric. Or if you already have an assignment, you could just start at this step. To add the rubric, you push the Add Rubric button. And then again, you want to name your rubric. For me, this is what I'm going to add. If you are, again, using this assignment and this rubric for assessment of students' grades in your course, you want to go ahead and add the criteria that are appropriate for your assessment and the number of points. But then you'll want to make sure you also add the campus-wide outcome. So again, if you're just using this for campus-wide outcome assessment, you can skip those steps and just go straight to finding the outcome. If you're not, you'll want to do those things first. So when you're ready to add the campus-wide outcome, you'll need to have made sure that you imported it first, which is shown in a separate video. Once you've done that, you'll be able to click this button, and then you'll see the campus-wide outcomes that you've imported, and you can select the ones that are appropriate. Then you'll want to make sure that you uncheck this box that says use this criterion for scoring. If you keep that box checked, those 3 points that we have to have associated with these levels of outcome accomplishment will be added to your overall point score. And if you don't want that, then you need to uncheck this box. In most cases, you don't want to add those 3 points, so make sure you uncheck this box. Then you'll say Import. Then you'll see the campus-wide outcome listed here in the rubric. And again, you can make choices about how you want to use this rubric for your assessment grading if that's what you're using, if you are using it for an actual assignment in your class. If you're not, you don't need to worry too much about what you check here. You just want to make sure you create your rubric. Now you'll have an assignment and a rubric that's associated with a campus-wide outcome that you can use for assessment of that campus-wide outcome in your course. In a future video, you can take a look at how you will use this rubric in the speed grader for assessing the campus-wide outcome.